what the cost function should look like? What? Okay, why don't you go to boards and then actually put the cost function that you think is right? You can have one representative for your nearest neighbor, so not everybody has to go to boards. But go to boards and actually put what you think the cost function it looks like.
Yeah. Yeah, there we go. What? Because it's funny, it's expensive. $30. What do you?
Right? Like, did you hear the conversation in here where some people thought it was money and some people thought it was units, and like until Kate said it is the amount of ounces, it was unclear what those variables are. If you're unclear about what those variables are, you're not going to be able to solve the problem.
It's all dictated by ounces.
Yeah, but you don't want to mix those things, right? So the X, what those variables mean is important. Because if you don't know what it means, you have no idea what you're looking for. And you have no idea how to check your answer at the end to see if you got what you're looking for. You have no way to answer the question at the end. The question at the end is, how much of each quantity should I have? If you're saying 25 cents is my answer, but that's not an answer. Because the question was, how many ounces do I need? So it's like getting that straightened out in your mind is really, really important. All right, so we have a couple different answers. We have the decimal answer and the non-decimal answer. So I'm leaving it up to you. What do you think?
Decimal cents.
Yeah,
And does it matter?
Either way, if it has the dollar amount, you can divide whatever your answer
But you have to remember to do that, right?
On a first glance, I think it's easier.
So this is why it's actually important to label your stuff as you're going along. How many of you have been to my office already? Those of you who've been to my office, how many of you would say that looks like a very organized person? Oh, the silence is really deafening in here. So I'm not an organized person, but when it comes to here, I have to be organized. And I just love walking down the hallways and looking at my former mathletes' offices, because we even had a border. But when it came, I was like surprised to see her work. Her work was, she had stuff coming out of her office. You open the door, the stuff would just like fall out of her office. But her work when it came to math was neat and precise. And that tells you what you need to do to be successful. So I'm not lying to you. I'm as messy as you can possibly be. Not as bad as the hoarder, but pretty messy. But when it comes to this, I'm pretty neat. Because it is about organizing your mind and seeing where everything is. So labeling these things are super important because you know what you're trying to look for. If you saw a man looking in the bushes and you asked him, hey, what are you looking for? And he says, I don't know. You think he was crazy, right? So you have to have these things down first, precisely. Otherwise, you can't answer the question. The question is looking for these things. And when you get your B equals 35 or whatever you get at the end, you'll know that's what you're looking for. So it's important. Trust me, trust me, trust me. I don't have time to actually get you to trust me with a month. I need you to trust me now. I'm not going to lie to you about anything you don't need to do. I'm going to shortchange you on it and say, you don't have to do this. I see some of you putting the little number symbol. Oh, they're imitating me. I won't write the word number out if I don't have to. So I won't even write the next sentence down if I don't have to. So I'm as short as it gets for writing. Go any shorter than that, you might get it wrong. So give me the minimalist, minimizing. So we've got cost. We've got two preferences. I'm going to go with this one, not because it's right or wrong, as Ed said, you don't have to have, if you have it in just dollar amounts, like if you have it as this one up here, 40B, it's fine. You just have to remember that those are cents. So costs are equal to this. It might be good. The good thing here is now you don't have to worry about it. 18 C plus 0.10 R, which equals costs in dollars for total comp of food amounts. So I wrote the whole thing so that when I get to the end, I know what I've done. Because once I do the math, I forget about all this stuff. So I have to kind of look back at it. All right, next step. Let's develop the constraints, but let's go slowly and go through every number and see how it's associated to the constraints. So this is a little bit harder than everything else. I think this part you got to get right first. If you don't get that first step right, if you have something different here, then the rest of it's all going to be a mishmash. So if you had put like B is the money that's involved, then everything else is a mess after it, right? So get this part right first. And if the caret doesn't work, the stick is that there'll be a rubric looking for this. All right, next step is to develop your constraints. And so take your time taking every number and trying to figure out how to like move it to the constraint portion.